Hi, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to GSL-English. But of course, it's Sunday morning, it's 10 o'clock when this is released, so welcome back to the GSL-English podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, I give you a wave. How are you doing? And if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then an audible hello is what I extend to you. But by whatever means you are listening to this podcast, hello. I hope you are doing well. I hope you've had a good week. Now, if you can hear some strange noises right now, I'm not sure if the microphone's picking that up. My radiator is making some really weird noises, and it is absolutely freezing in here, so I think something's wrong with it. I think my radiator is playing up, so I am currently very cold, hence the thick jumper if you were watching. But also it's making some really strange noises. So if you can hear the noises of my radiator, I apologize. But just to make sure it's not me making these noises, it's not my stomach or anything like that. It is the radiator. So let's hope that ends soon. Now, we're going to start with a bit of honesty here. Okay, today's podcast is going to start with me being honest. It's been a really busy week, with private students, with YouTube videos, which I'm going to talk about a little bit in the moment. So I haven't had a lot of time to prepare a podcast this week. Usually what I do is throughout the week, I write different segments. I write things I want to talk about. If there's an article, I'll look through the vocabulary, if it's whatever it is. And I make notes throughout the week. I prepare well, and I try and make it as natural but as informative as possible. That's the goal with the podcasts. I don't want it to sound scripted, so I prepare that throughout the week. But I haven't had time this week. So my initial inclination was, we'll just miss a week of the podcast. And my wife said, come on, Gideon, you can do it. Just go out there and talk about anything. Anything you say? Yes, anything. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about anything. I hope you enjoy this. As I say, you might pick up some new expressions, but if not, we can just enjoy having a chat together. Yeah, it's just been really busy. I'm a little bit tired at the moment, so I didn't have time to prepare the podcast. But out of loyalty to you, I wanted to put something out. So that's what's going to happen today. So I've got a few things I thought we could talk about at first, and that is a YouTube update. A YouTube update. If you were listening on Spotify, you might know that I also create YouTube videos. What's my goal with it? Well, I really enjoy creating content, as I do on Instagram, and I've been doing it on YouTube now since September. And it seems to be picking up some traction. The videos are going down quite well. If you're watching them, you seem to be liking them. And my goal is to be able to create YouTube videos for two reasons. One, to help you guys or anyone that wants to learn English. But also, let's be honest, it's another source of income. I'm not at the point of monetization yet. I've got a long way to go till I'm there. So at the moment, this is more of just a hobby that I enjoy. But if we can get to the point of monetization, then I can put a lot more time and effort into videos, podcasts, and just content in general. Because, I am a full-time English teacher, and this is something that I do really as just a bit of a side. It's not really a hustle, but just a side thing, a side hobby. So if we can get monetized, that'll be great. So that's where we're at with the YouTube. But I've got some big news, guys. I've got some big news. Now, you're going to see this if you're on YouTube, but I'm thinking of growing a beard. Okay? I'm thinking of growing a beard. It's starting to come through a little bit. This is just kind of a few days into the mix. I'm giving it a try. But my goodness, is it itchy? And by itchy, I mean that I just feel like I need to scratch it all the time. So yeah, I'm thinking of growing a beard, which is big news in the world. I'm sure you're all shocked, stunned by that. A little bit patchy in points. That's one thing I've noticed. A little bit patchy in points. So we'll do some beard updates with you. we'll see how it goes. But yeah, growing a beard. Let's see what happens. Now, before we get into the random thing that we're going to talk about today, I thought, let me tell you something that I love. I think, what can we talk about? Well, let me talk to you about something that I love and where the love of this thing came from. Now, if any of you know me, or you've chatted to me, or we've had classes together, whatever, you will most probably know that I absolutely love cars. I have loved cars for many years. I don't know why. I just have a passion for them. I love everything about cars. And I was trying to think, where did this love come from? Because my father's not really a lover of cars. My brother likes them, but he doesn't love them as much as I do. And it came from this. Where I grew up was near a very famous racing circuit in England called Brands Hatch. And we lived probably a 10-minute walk from Brands Hatch. So every weekend we would hear cars racing around this track. Vom, vom, vom. All weekend we would hear that throughout the racing season. And it got to the point where year after year of living there, because we lived there 15, 16 years, I would know what cars were racing at the weekend just by the sound. This is touring cars. This is Formula Ford. This is, I don't know, another example, whatever, a classic Taurus, whatever. And I loved the sound of cars. And some weekends you would get the smell of the petrol, the burning clutches and tyres coming through our garden. And it was just fantastic. And what's funny is living that close to Brands Hatch, to this racing circuit, if you chose to accept it, you could have a free pass to any racing event because you lived so close. But we never took advantage of that. We never went to Brands Hatch. It was only once I was probably about 17 when I learnt to drive that I started to go to Brands Hatch. And then my love of cars just took over. My love of motor racing in general just took over. There's a series called the British Touring Car Championship. I absolutely love it. I'm a big Formula One nut. I love Formula One. But I just love everything to do with cars. And it isn't just the engineering or the car itself. It's the community. And I love seeing somebody else that has a car that they love. It's their baby. It's their treasure. They absolutely love that car. And I think there's something really cool about seeing somebody that has their car that they love. Maybe they've spent years working on it. And it's a real labour of love. And by labour, you think of hard work, a hard task. Well, that's what they are for a lot of people. And that's why I love cars. I just love the sound. Everything about them. So there you go. There's something that I absolutely love. Now, what I thought we could do today to kind of mix this up a little bit is, how long have we got? I'm going to go on my timing now. Let's see where we are. Okay, I just need to close some things down. Oh, my computer's gone crazy all of a sudden. Okay, so let me just move some things over. What we're going to do is we are going to do a random topic generator. I was using this with another student that was trying to work on small talk and just general conversational skills. So we use this random topic generator. So what I would do is I would load up a random topic and then they would have to talk to me about it or ask me questions about this particular topic. Now, if I can get it working, we're going to do it. We're going to give this a try today. Now, my computer's honestly just decided to go absolutely AWOL. So let me just... Okay, there we are. We're there. So the website is capitalizemytitle.com/random topic generator / So that's what we're going to do. So this random topic generator and conversation starter. By the way, this is a great exercise. I'll put the link to it below, but if you want to practice your speaking skills out loud, you're at home, got nothing to do, give this a try. So basically, you just go generate random topic, and then you just have to simply talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got about 20 minutes of time here, 20, 25 minutes. We'll see how we go. So we're just going to do this generate random topic. And I have no idea what is going to come up. Now, there's a few different subheadings. We have business, couples, family, essays, or anyone. We're going to go with anyone. Okay? Generate a random topic, and then I'm going to talk to you about it. So the first one that has come up is, okay, nice simple one to get things going. What do you like to do in your spare time? And when it says spare time, it is referring to time that you have spare. So when you're not working, family obligations, whatever, time that you have spare, which I think for many of us nowadays is extremely limited. You know, many of us just say, well, what is spare time? I don't have it. But what do I like to do in my spare time? Well, I like to exercise. I do like to go to the gym. I'm not a gym nut when it comes to diet and things like that. You know, I like to go to the gym, lift weights, do cardio. I try and be good with my diet, but I don't go crazy. You know, I'm not one of these ones that's counting calories. But I like to exercise. Yeah. I like to research cars. But also, in my spare time, I like to build Lego. I've got quite a large Lego collection of cars. And for me, the reason that I like to do that is it's one of the very few activities that completely switches my mind off. I find that, you know, there's many things where I'll be doing it, but I'll be thinking about work, or I'll be thinking about something I need to do. It's a strange thing that I find when I'm building Lego, I maybe put some music on, have a little drink, and I don't think about anything else. I just go through the instructions. I just enjoy building that Lego, and my mind really switches off. So any of my friends, family, or wife that knows me, they want to get me a gift, they generally just get me Lego. That was the adult answer to that question, but also Lego is just really cool, isn't it? You build a car out of bricks. It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, I like to build Lego in my spare time. What else do I do? These questions made me realise I'm actually quite a boring person. I guess at the moment I'm growing a beard in my spare time. I don't even think you can qualify this as a beard. Yeah. If I put my head out the window, it'll probably just blow off. It's not that strong, but we will get there. What else do I like to do in my spare time? I like to watch movies, TV series. Yeah, that's about it. Something else will probably come to me later on in the podcast, and I'll jump in with another answer. But that's a great question. Try and answer that yourself. Set yourself a timer on your phone of 2 minutes. Take that question, what do you like to do in your spare time? And try and answer it out loud. Great exercise. Okay, let's go with random topic number 2. Do you like spicy food? Why or why not? What is the spiciest thing you have ever eaten? I used to really like spicy food. Maybe like late teens, early 20s. I loved spicy food. If I went to an Indian restaurant or if I was getting a takeaway, I would generally have a madras, which for me was very spicy. But nowadays, I've become a wimp when it comes to spicy food. I don't know what happened. I just can't take it. I hate the feeling now of that burning in my mouth. I cannot take it. My father-in-law, he can take extremely spicy food. You know, the kind of spicy food where you get close and your eyes just start to water. But yeah, I'm not good with spicy food now. I find that I just prefer flavour and taste. Just not very good in it. But this question, what is the spicy thing you've ever eaten? I was in Central Africa for a little bit of time. And they had this chili, which I bought from a market. It was a very poor part of Africa. You go to the market. And I bought some chilies just to try cooking. I think I was going to make some chili oil or something like that. So I tried a little bit of the chili. And it wasn't too bad, just the edge of the chili. So I was chopping it up, chop, 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 chop. Everything was going well, and I then rubbed my eyes. And I know this wouldn't class as spiciest thing you've ever eaten, but if there was a possibility at that point to be able to rip my eyes out, I would have done. My eyes were on fire. They went red, actually to the point where I couldn't see. And I remember actually being quite terrified. So I went to my friend at that time and I said, my eyes, they're on fire. And then after that, because I was rubbing my eyes, I rubbed my mouth and then my tongue was on fire. And this chili was tiny. Honestly, absolutely tiny, but it really packed a punch. It was killer. And I remember that to this day as being not necessarily the spiciest thing I've eaten, but the spiciest thing I have been in the presence of. It was killer. All right, random topic. What do you think the next big technological advance will be? I'm really not a tech person. As many of you know, I'm not a techie in the slightest. I'm not very good with technology, generally, as you've seen through a little bit of this podcast. I know my work is based around computers, but I'm not technologically minded. That being said, I do think artificial intelligence, of course, is the next big thing. I mean, it is the big thing at the moment, but I think the advancements that will take in the future are going to be remarkable. So I'm actually quite excited to see where that goes and the way it develops. But I think that will be the next kind of big thing. I think VR, but that will take... VR, I'm going back 5 years. But I do think the technology of virtual reality will also start to take over. You know, the idea that you don't have to travel to travel. You can just wear a headset, or maybe that technology itself will advance to the point where it's not even a headset, maybe a chip in your brain. You go wherever you want to go around the world. I think that, to me, is going to be a big advancement in technology, the idea of being able to go places, to experience things from the comfort of your own home without having to travel, which I don't particularly like the idea of. I like to travel. I think it's really important to experience things firsthand. But I do think that is the way technology is going. Now, please, if you've got any answers to these questions that you would like to present, let me know on the comments on YouTube. Or if you are listening, send me an email at GSL-English1@gmail.com. And that's GSL-English1@gmail.com. If you've got any thoughts on this. Also, if there's anything you would like me to discuss in coming podcasts, please let me know. I would love to start the podcast by answering some of your questions. I really would. So send me an email. Let me know in the comments any questions you have about anything. Or even if you want to tell me a story, I will read it out. Tell me your experience. I'll read it out. But I would really enjoy that. Okay, next topic. Let's go with where would you like to travel to next? Where would you like to travel to next? I don't know. We were talking about this the other day, actually. That's quite strange. I would really like to visit Asia. I would like to go to Japan. I'd like to take my wife to Singapore. I'd like to go to Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. I would love to do all of that. I love the food, culture, but also it's just something very different to what I've done or where I've been in the past. But I would love to visit Asia. I think that's next on my list. But also I would like to see a lot more of Europe. Just driving around Europe. You know, go to Poland, Portugal, Norway. I don't know, there's so many amazing places in the world, and I don't really know where I want to travel to. I just want to go everywhere. Do you know what I mean? I just want to see everything. But also, I've actually made a bit of a goal with my wife next year that we're going to try and see more of England. Because England really is a beautiful country. We've got such diverse landscapes I would love to see. You know, I want to go over to Wales, Lake District. I want to go up to, almost all of the United Kingdom I want to visit. Go down to Cornwall, There's so many awesome places. So yeah, I want to see more of England and the United Kingdom as well. Okay, let's go. What is the most embarrassing piece of clothing you own? I mean, it depends what embarrassing is. Because that's a very subjective thing, isn't it? What we class as being embarrassing. But what is the most embarrassing piece of clothing you own? Let me think. I've got some pretty funky socks. I've got some really interesting socks. I like socks. That sounded weird, didn't it? I like socks, but I do. I like interesting printed socks. I've got some very interesting shirts for going out in the evening with animals on them. But embarrassing. I don't know if I class anything as embarrassing. Maybe other people would say otherwise when they go out with me. When my wife goes out, maybe she finds them embarrassing. But for me, I don't know. What would class as an embarrassing piece of clothing? I don't think I have one. Next question. The best piece of advice you've ever gotten was what? Wow. That's a big question. There's two quotes I really like. Now, forgive me here because I don't know who they're from, but I like these two quotes. I guess it's not advice, but I heard them and it's really stuck with me. One of them is this. Everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not the end. Okay, that is one of the quotes that I like. Everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not the end. And I particularly like this quote or advice, if you will, because sometimes when we're going through a tough time or we're going through a difficult time, we can have this kind of defeatist mentality where that's it. This is the end. But actually, generally, although we have to bear through tough times, that's not the end. So, usually everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it isn't the end yet. We just have to keep on enduring, keep on bearing whatever we are going through. And I think that's quite a nice quote, piece of advice. It will all be all right in the end. Generally, it is. And that ties in with another quote that I like. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Whether we are going through a really good time, maybe money's good, family's good, everything's good, this too shall pass. It will pass. When we go through bad times, maybe it's health or whatever, this too shall pass. And basically, whether it's a good time, we should appreciate it. Whether it's a bad time, we should always know that this too shall pass. It's the way life is. Good times, bad times, but they do pass. So they're two of my perhaps favourite pieces of advice or quotes. This too shall pass. Whether it's good, whether it's bad. Always remember that. This too shall pass. And the second one is everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not the end. Okay, how are we doing for time? Because I'm going to be honest, guys, I ran out. Oh, my microphone. Well, that's not professional. I got too excited there and I knocked my microphone down. But yeah, as I was saying, I had a little bit of time. I ran down here. I'm supposed to be going out for lunch with my family, but I quickly ran out here to record this podcast. I hope you appreciate it. I've lost my mouse. How have I just lost my mouse? Oh, it's all the way over here. How did that happen? Okay. If you're listening, this isn't great. If you're watching, this isn't great content, really. But yeah, so I've got time for one more. What's your favourite genre of movie? Great question to end on. Science fiction. I love science fiction. I am a big Star Wars guy. I absolutely love Star Wars. As many of you will already know, Star Wars means the world to me. Not just because of the films, because I do have issues with the latest three. They didn't cut the mustard for me. But Star Wars for me is a very emotional thing. It's time with my family. It's very nostalgic. I absolutely love it. And science fiction is great because it just takes you to another world. And I love that. I love films and movies that can just take you away from this world and kind of transport you to another. And you're looking at someone else's interpretation of the future or the past. Brilliant. So there you go. Okay, so I've kind of run out of times, but that was the podcast today. A little bit more relaxed. Now, it might be the case, if you have got to this point wherever you have watched the whole podcast. Let me know in the comments and say I did it. Because I know I've rambled on today, but you might have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy my general ramblings in English, please let me know. If not, I promise next week will be a little bit more structured. Now, I am thinking of doing a live stream. I've recently hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. I know for many, it's not a big number, but for us, this is amazing, guys. Well done. So I'm thinking of doing a live stream, and I want to do it at a time that we can all enjoy. So yeah, maybe I'll record a podcast live. If you like that idea, let me know. Always get in touch, guys. Say hi in the comments. I'll respond to everybody. Send me an email, whatever. Get in touch, say hi. What would you like me to talk about? If you want to join the GSL English Club, where I post daily content to help you learn English, you can do on my Patreon page, which I've put in the description below. But also, guys, what you are doing is amazing. If you are trying to learn English, trying to learn any language, I think we should appreciate more what an incredible thing that is. So just keep going. Don't give up, and you've got this. Have a great week, and I'll see you all next week. Have a good one, guys.